Okay, I really hope that you enjoyed doing the exercises. Let's see the solutions for these exercises. So the first one was that you have a list of strings, and we are looking for the length of each string. You can use the len function on a string to get the length of it. So we can use map and give it just the len function as it is, so the built-in len function, and the list of these animals, or any iterable here, of course. What we get back is another iterable, and here we can print it out, and then we can convert it into a list. So let's say it's called map string to len. Let's go here, Python map string to len, and you can see that the first one is a map object, and then the list of the lengths. Actually, let me see that you can make some changes here. So instead of printing out as there are, we can also iterate over these values. So we can say for I don't know, ln in length, and then we can print out the ln, the length. So you don't have to, because it's an iterable, you don't have to convert it into list. You can use it as an iterator. Of course, the advantage of this one is that the len function is going to be executed only when just when you're trying to print it out. So basically, if I run this code, then I'll get back the same values, but now printed out one after the other. So that's the first exercise. The second exercise was doing similar thing, but for lines in a file. So for this, first of all, we need to get a name of the file, and this is what we do here. We use the sys module, and then we compare the length of the argv to be 2, and if it's not, then we complain about it. So this is map row to length. This is how it's called. Let me see how it works. Python map row to length. If I just run it, then it will complain or tell us that should you run the same file name, the same script, same program, and give it a name of a file. So for example, here we have the previous one. Maybe we can use that as our input file. So we're going to go over the lines of that file and show the length of them. So this is the length. These are the lengths of the previous program. Okay, the lines of the previous program. What we do here is then if the number of arguments is 2, then we take the first argument, number 1 argument actually, and put it in the file name. And then it's the interesting part. So we go open the file name as fh, and then create the map function, and now provide the fh, the file handler, as the iterable to this map. So in this case, the length object will have this fh inside, sort of. It won't read the file until we actually start the iteration. Okay, so earlier we saw that we can put here a list, but I mentioned that you can put, or a string also, but you can put there any iterable, and a file handler that we got back from open is just an iterable. So we can put that here, and then every time we iterate over the lengths now, this length variable, then Python will read the next line, call the len function on it, and then we'll be able to print the len function, the result. So this is how it worked, printed out the lengths of the functions. I also have here a commented out code left over for probably some other exercise or other demo showing that you could actually stop the iteration with some condition, and then if you stop the iteration, that would also mean that we don't read the rest of the file. So this can be a really time-saving and CPU-saving action or technique, because now the I/O operation, so reading from the file, which is, I don't know, 100 times slower than any operation in the memory, will take place only up to the line that's the first line that's longer than 10 characters. Okay, or whatever, you can put here any other condition, of course. Okay, so this was the second exercise, and the third exercise was to compare the rows of two files. So here too we have the import, and we are expecting two files. The name of the program is compare rows, so we can run Python compare rows, and here too it will tell me that it is expecting two files. So we can run it, and actually let's give it the two files that we had earlier, so two programs that we had earlier, the map row to length and the map string to length, and we can run them then, and it will return us true, false, true. I don't know if they are right, probably. Let's see the code. So here we get the two file names, file A and file B, and then this is the operation, and we'll get back in a second to this compare function. So we open the two files with open file as FHA, and then open the file B as FHB. So we have two file handlers, and then we can use the map and provide it this comparison function. Okay, so whatever function we are going to use, that we'll see in a second, and the two iterables. So both are file handlers. So at this point, when this is executed, the files are not read yet. They are only on the disk, so no disk operation besides opening the file has happened. Only when we start iterate over, then Python will read one from each file and then call the compare function, and whatever compare returns will be printed here. So what does this compare function do? It's expecting two parameters. There are two rows from A and B. Then we run find on both of them, sending back find a space. We get A and B back, so this, the location of the spaces. Actually, there might be a bug here. I don't know if this is correct or not, because find will return -1 if a space is not found. Okay, so that's an interesting question. That's actually up to you. How do you evaluate if one line doesn't have any space? Would that mean that it should be less? I didn't specify it in the exercise, so that was probably up to your decision how you interpret something, that if a line doesn't have, if a row doesn't have a space, whether it means that it should be true if you compare it to something that has a space, or false. Anyway, in this case, what happened is that we get the location of both of them, and then we return the truth value that is returned by the comparison operator of A less than B. And that's it.